bad boys. Look, I done missed 3 episodes, child. Just life been life and as usual, but we up in here. So what I'm about to do is I'm about to review episodes 8 and 9, and then I'm gonna do 10 separately. Because if I do all 3 videos at one time, child, this video gonna be like an hour or so long, and we can't do that. We can't hold that kind of memory. So here we go. Bad Boys on Zeus. Okay. So, we have Lou. Child, y'all know last we left, Lou was in the hospital. And, you know, it took Orlando to come scoop Lou up to tell the producers that this man was sick. Lou been coughing and hacking and hooking and hawking all across the set, just coughing on everything, coughing on everybody in the bed with eyebrow, dapping everybody up, giving out hugs and kisses, and he this whole time been contagious. So Lou is talking to Jonathan on the way to where they are, and he tells Jonathan that he has bronchitis, but he vapes a lot. He does the little vapor pen moments. And apparently that flared up his asthma, or he says that that made him get asthma or something like that. I don't know. I don't know, you know, what's what. I don't know anything about vaping. I don't smoke cigarettes. Ever so often socially, you know, a little green from, you know, here and there. And then, you know, other than that, it's you know, socially a little liquor from time to time. But other than that, that's all I do. So I don't know anything about anything else, child. I'm very green. I'm very innocent and demure and petite. Y'all pray for me, child. My wrist, I don't have my little thing on, my little wrist thing. But child, I hurt my wrist at work. And I'm lifting and pushing and pulling all day. And I don't know if it's some nerve issues right here, but I hit it. I was on my pit machine, and child, I hit it, and my arm, my wrist right here has been hurting all day long. I can barely lift the box. So y'all pray for me, child. I'm getting ready to be busy at my job, and I just don't know how I'm going to do it, child. But pray for the doll, okay? Okay, so going back into that, and you know Jonathan and his advice. Nah, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you need to do better. Get active. You feel me? I was like, well, okay, get active. So we shoot back to the house. We have Raz B and Banga in the kitchen. Raz B compliments Banga on his aesthetic. And him doing his thing, his Thug Thistle, dressing up on the fashions and stuff. Okay. So then we have Carry On, Prince, and Mo City. They come into the kitchen and they start to talk about this whole studio moment. They want to create like a song. And alright, he decides to put in his 2 cents. He was just like, oh, I would love to be on the song, but you know, I don't sing or rap or whatever. And it was just like, they instantly shut it down. It was just like, no, you can't be on this, blah, blah, blah. No need for that, whatever. And I didn't really have a problem with that, with them telling Ara, this is just, you know, for the rappers or whatever. If you're not an artist, then, you know, don't be on the song, just show up for support. I didn't have an issue with that until I saw later on, I think in the next episode, where they actually let Relly get on the mic and do his little thing. Now, mind you, they was just freestyling and having fun. It wasn't a serious song moment. But I was just like, girl, y'all just, I don't know. Every family has a black sheep, you know, and this dysfunctional, horrible example of a family is in this situation is Ara, you know. But they say every group, every friend group, which is very true, you know. So but you know, at least everybody's, you know, getting along or whatever, at least for right now. Okay, so next we have Adonis, Rayleigh, and Orlando. Orlando's talking to Adonis, which is like, oh, well, you know, you the newest bad boy. How do you feel about being here? And all that kind of stuff. Adonis was just like, you know, it's cool or whatever, da 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 da. And then here comes Chef D. And he tells Adonis that basically, I don't know what you're talking about. You still won. I got to get my ones. So you still new, basically. And you can't be coming up in here, doing your thug thizzles. You talking about this in the experience when you don't know, you haven't been there, you need to earn your keeps a little bit. Which I actually agree with. And so Chef D ended up leaving in Orlando because Adonis tells Riley B that he needs to talk to him one-on-one. And I'm not talking about Kyla Pratt, okay? And so we found out there's a history between Adonis and Riley. Apparently they used to mess around and have a situation back in the day, years ago. Apparently Riley blocked Adonis. He did not tell Adonis why he blocked him. And Adonis, 3 years later, all of a sudden want to know. And he was just like, he was like, well, that's just how I do, you were showing out and that's just that. And Adonis proceeds to kind of flirt with Riley, even though he has a boyfriend, to tell him that, I'm glad we're in this situation so that we can get to know each other more. And Riley was just like, well, I'm about to let my man know about it. And Adonis was just like, well, you ain't married, so it don't count. And I was just like, girl, Adonis, you're giving thirst. You're giving thirst tease. He's calmed down a whole lot, Adonis, since he came into the house. I mean, you got what you wanted, child. There's no reason to argue and fight no more, I guess. You argued and fought and screamed to get on the show. And now you're on the show, so. Okay. So let's see. What else happened, y'all? Lou, he came in to tell the entire group that his goodbyes. He hugged Ara. It was kind of a sad moment to see Lou go. Lou was never my favorite, but and I definitely did not like him in the beginning. But he kind of grew on me a little bit. About this much, It's, we watch these shows. We feel like we know these people. We get attached just like everybody else do. We're human beings, child, regardless of whatever, regardless of the reading and the shading and the being mean and the cattiness and the drama and whatever else the show brings or us as commentators bring. We grow with these people. We still want to see everybody win and everybody doing well and blah, blah, blah. So we're going to pray for Lou and pray for his health and hopefully he gets off the vapes. Jonathan, he was Jonathan Luther King. Throughout this episode, he was dropping gems and saying what people need to do with their health and blah, blah, blah. But, then he'll go drink a 40 and there you go. Okay, so let me see. So it's football time. Apparently the guys decided to play football randomly. Some of them been drinking the night before and it's just, I wouldn't have played. I'm not a sports person per se, even though I was always big and, when you're big and black and a boy, they always tell you to go play football. But I just wasn't interested. I was interested in the dance team and cheerleading and ballet and all that kind of stuff. And I asked my mom, I was like, Mama, if I, sign up for ballet and I make it, is you gonna come to my recitals? And she said, hell no. So I didn't do it. Broke my little spirit, I tell you. So we're at the football game, child. Jonathan, he decides to play football in his robe and bonnet. The robe was really nice. And the bonnet, actually. I was like, go, Jonathan. Arbra said that he didn't need to change because he already had on his outfit. Ain't that the truth? And so, yeah, one thing I was noticing, was Raz B was just super aggressive and stuff in this moment. He was acting like he was tackling people and yada yada yada. It just got dark very quickly, and I'm just like, this is another reason why I don't like to play with certain people. You can't play like that. Back in the day, when we were kids, back in my old hood, we used to do stuff called slap boxing, which is like you play fighting basically, and you trying to slap the person's face and all that. I never played it because somebody always gets mad, and it always turns into a real fight every time. And I just no, my face is all I got. My wrist is broke up, my knees is getting bad, arthritis is setting in, my elbow hurt, hell, my eyebrows hurt. What else is next? My face is all I got. I got to get some damn root canals done in my mouth. They got to pull my wisdom teeth. The girls is falling apart. So anyway, so we have teams. On Prince's team, we have Prince, Relly, Shefty, Adonis, and Ara. On Jonathan's team, we have Jonathan, JB, Raz B, Orlando, and Carry On. So who made the first touchdown in his robe was Jonathan. I was like, child, this is funny. So then Ara, he ended up making a touchdown. Raz B was just doing the absolute most, just weird, just acting. I guess he has something to prove because he's the oldest one or something. I don't know what. That's what it was kind of giving a little bit. So he was just extra and it's just touchy, and I was just like, what is going on? And everybody just kept spinning right on past Raz B with no problem. I said, Raz B only think that he is the MVP in his head. Bless his heart. I know that you wanting it. Tell me, can you handle it? Show me how you work them hips. Baby, we can roll with it. So, I used to have B2K all over my walls, child. Anyway, let me see. Mo City, he's another one that gets aggressive. Mo City is odd. He's a unique one for sure. Let me see. So Mo City, he ends up, well, I was gonna say tackling Adonis, but he actually pushed him. It was just getting super aggressive for no reason. And Mo City kind of pushed Adonis really hard, and that was enough for Ara. Ara ended up leaving because he has foresight. And as whatever some people's opinion may be of Ara, he seems pretty, he's the most what's the word? Definitely relatable and just the most, at least right now, he seems to be the most level-headed and makes the most sense a lot of times. He saw a potential situation get ready to happen, so he decided to remove himself. Because when people get in that kind of competitive headspace, I mean, my God, most of them was just ready to fight everybody, child. Raz B trying to dunk people and stuff. Prince and Shefty and his teeth over there falling out of chairs. It was a mess. It was funny though. I'll say that overall it was funny. Let me see. So, at one point, JB, he thought that Raz B, who was on his team, tackled Prince, but he didn't. Prince spun Michael Jackson circles around old ass Raz B. And Mo started making fun of Prince, and then at one point Prince kind of hit Mo City kind of hit Prince in the face and stuff, and it was getting bad, but luckily it didn't go all the way there. They calmed down, and that's that. Let me see. The MVP of the day was actually Darrell. He ended up running 2 touchdowns, so shouts out to him. When Chef D said, "Oh, y'all let a punk beat y'all," I love that for him. I hit the floor. That was funny. Okay, so moving on from that, we have Carry On versus Relly. Something or another happened that we are not privy to, and Relly and Carry On had got into it. Apparently, Relly tried to compliment Carry On something, child, and Carry On took it offensively, and they was arguing all the way in the bus. Carry On was taunting Relly. And Relly, ho, what you gonna do, ho? I'ma slap this ho. And Relly, what Relly gives, child. Everybody was pretty much just laughing. It was literally just like 2 siblings bothering each other. Carry On ended up calling Natalie on the phone. He was talking his crap. And Darrell kept telling Chef D, I'ma hit him. I'ma hit this ho. And so he ended up flying across the sky like Wonder Woman and hitting Carry On, child. It got real bad. I said, Lord have mercy, Jesus. Okay, so moving on from that, we have episode 9. Relly had just hit Carry On, and he told Carry On to fix his hair. Carry On all disheveled. Got to get off the phone talking to Natalie, I was like, Lord have mercy, Jesus, Carry On. Really? Why you let Carry On get you that mad? You know he's not gonna fight. Like, what's the point in fighting somebody that you know not gonna fight? But you know, when you're that upset, and like I said, it was just like siblings, and they've been knowing each other a little while now, so people know people's triggers and what to do and blah blah blah. But apparently, overall, they said that Carry On took something what Darrell said the wrong way when Darrell was giving him a compliment. I don't know. We know Carry On is not, bless his heart. Okay, so Carry On, he's talking to the producers, and at one point Mo City and I think Orlando came out to check on Carry On. It was just like, well, is you gonna get to the studio? They got to the studio. They're complaining about the studio and stuff, some people, especially Chef D, as if he's gonna do anything. Why is his name Chef D? He has not scrambled not one egg. He has not scooped one, no guacamole. It's just nothing. It's just nothing. But his name is Chef D. I don't get it. But before that though, Chef D, he thought that somebody roofied him and put something in his drink. Apparently he's victim of that, and he thought he laid his cup down and he thought that somebody put something in his cup. Girl. So we get to the studio. Rayleigh and Carry On ended up making up quickly. And they hugged each other, and then Chef D oddly asked for a hug from Carry On. Chef D, you're giving the vibes that you're the one to be dropping the stuff in the girls' cups. I'm just like, what do you want a hug for, Chef D? And Carry On told him to sit down because you're too big. I'll hug you if you sit down, but you're too big. I want no big old sweaty man standing over me, breathing and stuff. And but he ended up giving them a hug, and then Darrell pulled Carry On's hands down to tap Chef D's butt that looks like cold grits. And y'all see Chef D butt child in that football game. I said, Chef D, who did your booty? What that booty do? Chef D, who did your booty? Why'd you get all that booty with them little knees knocking and them ankles? I said, Chef. Some of y'all need refunds. I mean, the shit that y'all spend y'all money on. I mean, really, it's not one day that does any of that look right. It's just, Okay, so, studio. Like I said, everybody's catching the vibe, doing their thing. Rayleigh's rapping, Mo City's rapping, Adonis rapping. Orlando got on there and showed his ass, Orlando was so funny in this episode. Orlando can sing a little bit. Remember that. Y'all remember the Disney when they did Circle of Life with Raven, Kyla Pratt, Taj Mowry, Sis from Even Stevens. Y'all remember they did Circle of Life. So we know that Eddie from That's So Raven can sing. So I was like, it's nice to see Orlando in this little light. But you never know when he might flip out too. A lot of these people are just, it's crazy how they can be cool and then the next minute they acting a fool. Let me see. We have Rayleigh, Prince, and Carry On. Rayleigh, he ended up telling them that he needs to go back home to Houston. Because his sister-in-law, which is his boyfriend's sister, she apparently tried to commit suicide, and she took pills and stuff, and she is going through it. So we praying for that sister. I don't know how she's doing. I haven't heard an update. I guess I got to go to Rayleigh's page and see, but we're praying for her, and my goodness. And then we found out the Carry On attempted it at 19 and stuff. Carry On, this show is not good for anybody, but this show is not good for a person that's like dealing with any kind of mental health or any kind of, or anxiety real bad or anything going on like that. This is not a healing kind of environment. Um, and I would just love to hear Carry On's story, to really just hear his story from his point of view and stuff, because he's definitely been through a lot, and Carry On is a very interesting person to me, and so I would just love to hear his story. But you're not going to find any kind of resolve on this show, Carry On. But yeah. So anyway, Prince ended up hugging Darrell, which was very sweet, and that was it. Okay, so we're moving on to Orlando versus Raz B, and then Prince and Ra, and Adonis was there as well. Raz B is going off on Orlando for God knows what. Apparently, it was a situation where they tried to do a business deal or something, or Orlando, Raz B was trying to talk to Orlando about doing something, and apparently Raz B goes off and he's acting a fool, blood this, crip this, and just jumping at him and ready to fight. Then the next minute, oh no, this is my brother, this is my brother. Then the next minute, he trying to stump him in the ground, and then the next minute, that's my brother, that's my brother. At one point, Jonathan, he comes out, get active, and he was just like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Talking to Raz B, why you yelling at him and stuff? And it was getting ready to go down, and y'all know Jonathan, once he gets started, it's a wrap. He ain't gonna stop. I was like, Lord have mercy, Jesus. Raz B looked up at Jonathan. He was just like, oh, you cool. Real quick, I tell you, I have been saying it since day one. It is all for one and one for Jonathan, child. Don't know nobody, none of the boys, the K boys, the straight boys, the bi boys, the lie boys. Don't none of them want not Nan Day. And you heard me, I said Nan. Trina and Trick Daddy Nan. They don't want not Nan Day of Jonathan Wright. And I don't blame them, child. I'll be right up there with them, child. Jonathan, you need anything? Jonathan, no, y'all be quiet. Jonathan, is you all right? All I got is my face. I told y'all that. Okay. So, let me see. It was just crazy. It was just crazy and disrespectful. He was just sporadic, out of control. Once again, like for what I said about Carry On, the rules apply to Raz B, because this just came out of nowhere, and clearly there's some kind of mental thing going on, or he crunk up on something. Yeah. Okay, so let me see. So at one point, Prince and Raz B had got into it because Prince felt like Raz B was trying to size him up, and he was just saying all kind of stuff, crazy stuff, and Prince was feeling some kind of way, of course, and it was getting ready to go down, but it didn't. So we get to the next studio, which is apparently better. Everybody likes it. Raz B, he was in and off the bus. Him and Adonis got into it at one point. It was just crazy. Raz B was just very sporadic and just out of his mind. And instead of taking a more aggressive approach with him, people like Ra, I heard him mention, because apparently Chef D was going to get him. Well, first Jonathan was going to get him, and then here comes the follower, Chef D, and he was getting ready to chew him up. And, it was just like, nah, just chill out, let him go. And once again, Ra being the rational one, even though in that moment Raz B was completely out of his mind, and I understood their stance as well. I understood both sides. But clearly this is not normal behavior, so something's going on. Who the real issue is the producers. Y'all got all these big swole security guards there. You mean to tell me not one of y'all just scooped little Raz B up and took him somewhere? But they kept letting him back and forth on the bus. They kept letting him back and forth in the studio. He kept having this state of mind, acting a fool, showing out, saying whatever. They just wanted to film it. They had to get the drama. It wasn't about Raz B's mental health. It wasn't about Raz B's, actions. It was just about, child, we got to film this. It's good, That's what I didn't like. I didn't necessarily blame any of the boys or nothing, because you can't. They didn't do nothing to Raz B, child. Um, so it was just crazy. We get to the studio, and then all of a sudden we see Raz B coming up the steps, acting a fool, stomping and showing out once again. Child, apparently he was in there a little while, and then Jonathan just knocked him out, child. Next episode, Jonathan is over it, and he gonna try to swing at him again at a club, and it's just not gonna get good. I don't know. We praying for Raz B. I don't think it's a funny situation. I think something's really going on. You know, mental health is something else. Every human needs a therapist, in my opinion. Some of us need a couple of meds. Hey, we just need to normalize people's emotional and mental health being okay, as well as the physical. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. This video's long enough, and I'm gonna do episode 10 soon. With that said, before Sunday. Well, it might be Sunday. It'll be before the new episode, which comes on Sunday. How about that? Sunday night. With that said, I'm MrChalaki. MrChalaki on Google Plus. Follow me at SKZor on Instagram and Twitter, at SKZor89 on Snapchat. Chase King on Facebook. MrChalaki on Cash App and PayPal. Chasey Boy on TikTok. And as always, run me my money or run me my fade. Run me my money the way I get paid. Stay black, stay tuned. It's Chasey Boy on TikTok. CHASEYBOY. Okay. I always get confused. Let me see. Stay black, stay tuned. Okay. And I'll see you guys later. Bye. Hey, Terrell.